Top 10 Craziest Assumptions on Apocalypse Scenarios. There have been a lot of movies about how the Earth would end. But is there any chance where our planet would really end experiencing one of the apocalyptic scenarios that movies depict? Hi everyone, welcome back to the Top 10 channel. Today, we are counting down our top picks for the top 10 craziest assumptions on apocalypse scenarios. It seems that humanity is a bit obsessed with apocalyptic scenarios. If it's not 2012, then probably the Y2K bug. Remember bird flu, swine flu, Nibiru, West Nile, or Ebola? There are just a few of those scenarios on movies that are possible to wipe the entire humanity on Earth. For this list, we are going to look at the most popular scenarios that people have assumed to cause the Earth's end. Some of these may have been one of the famous urban legends, while the others are probably a result of a very powerful imagination. But before we proceed on our list, do not forget to hit the red subscribe button and ring the notification bell to get updates of our new uploads every week. Alright, if you are already ready to know the craziest assumptions as to how life and the lives on it will probably end, just sit back, relax, and check out our list. At number 10, Alien Invasion. There are a lot of films and even novels that depict aliens invading the planet and trying to get rid of us. Remember Independence Day, Host, and War of the Worlds? Those are just three among the many fictional stories about how the lives on the distant planets somewhere in the galaxy are more likely to come and just annihilate everybody on our planet. According to other people, some of these alien invasion stories are said to be metaphors for protest against military control. Science has always helped us discover lives in the unlikeliest of places. Remember those creatures they discovered in Mariana's Trench? Those creatures were so remarkable and have made others speculate that there could probably be undiscovered lives somewhere else. Anyway, the possibility of aliens swooping into our planet and destroying everything in it is very small. There's actually a big difference between discovering lives on other planets and aliens eliminating us. At number 9, Malthusian Crisis. The Malthusian catastrophe happens when the population growth outpaces agricultural production. Although there have been recent advances in farming options, such as vertical farming that takes advantage of limited space in densely populated urban areas, scientists have seen that this process will reduce the potential for a food shortage to happen. However, our bee population is dying, so experts are worried that without the participation of bees in pollination, we would not have enough access to nourishing food in the future. According to Allocation, there are about 100 trillion honeybees exist in the world. Although it sounds a lot, it isn't. Greenpeace says that the decline of the number of bees globally is affected by industrial agriculture, climate change, and bee-killing pesticides. The loss of biodiversity, the destruction of habitat, and the lack of forage due to monocultures and pesticides are threats to wild pollinators and honeybees alike. Truth be told, we do still have plants right now that needs the participation of such pollinators to produce fruits and vegetables. So, if our natural pollinators have been dying all along, we could probably be all dying in the future too. I guess I should start advocating for establishing farms for bees. At number 8, Large-scale volcanism. Don't worry, this is not about volcanoes everywhere around the globe exploding in unison, enveloping the world in lava. Although the Krakatoa in Indonesia or Vesuvius in Pompeii was very catastrophic when both erupted, both volcanoes would not be enough to end the world even if they erupt simultaneously. The type of volcanism that we are going to talk about has been believed to be the cause of mass extinctions through the years. Scientists suspect massive vents and fissures in the earth that continually emit steady pulses of lava would cause a lot of problems because These fissures and vents generate more lava than those explosive volcanoes and therefore affecting vast areas. But the lava isn't the only reason that has contributed to the death of animals, plants, and probably humans. It's the gas released from this volcanic activity that poisons plants and animals and have contributed to climate change and acid rain. These gases are called greenhouse gases, which is a result of lava meeting rocks containing organic compounds such as coal deposits. Examples of these gases are methane, carbon dioxide, and sulfur oxide. The events caused by these shifts in atmospheric chemistry could be very catastrophic. But this type of apocalypse would really take an extremely long time before it happens. What you need to pay attention to if in case this catastrophe would happen is the ultimate skyrocketing extinction rates of all habitats in many different levels. At number 7, Death of the Universe. The Big Freeze, or the Big Chill, is the other name of the death of the universe. So basically, when the universe would turn into a state of no thermodynamic free energy, it wouldn't be able to sustain processes that reduce entropy. However, this apocalyptic scenario will not only affect the Earth but the entire universe, hence the name, right? According to Gemma Lavender, a space writer, I quote, "The idea of heat death arises from the second law of thermodynamics, that entropy increases over time in an isolated system. The system will evolve to a state of maximum disorder. When this happens, all energy will be evenly distributed throughout the cosmos, leaving no room for any reusable energy or heat to burst into existence. Processes that consume energy would cease." End quote. However, Lavender added that it will take about 10 to the power of 100 years for death heat to occur, so no need to panic yet. At number 6, Interplanetary Contamination. Forward contamination and back contamination are the two types of interplanetary contamination. Forward contamination is a form of contamination where a transfer of life and other forms of contamination from Earth to another celestial body. Back contamination, on the other hand, is the introduction of extraterrestrial organisms and other forms of contamination into Earth's biosphere. If you have seen the movie War of the Worlds and how it ended, in the movie, when the aliens started to kill every human on Earth, humans thought all hope was lost until the aliens got common cold and had died, leaving crows to feed on their remains. Therefore, it is also possible that aliens can also pass their diseases and might just wipe us all out before we know it. However, it is not only aliens that can infect us, but crews from space probes can also carry with them microscopic biological contaminants from other worlds, which our world would probably have no immunity at all. Then all of us die. That is the very reason why space samples and astronauts are quarantined to make sure they're squeaky clean. At number 5, Asteroid. Among all the apocalyptic scenarios in this list, there are hundreds, if not thousands of movies where asteroids have threatened the safety of the Earth and its inhabitants. A large comet or asteroid colliding with the Earth could cause an explosion greater than all the nuclear bombs on the planet. This kind of impact has been believed by scientists to have caused the extinction of all land dinosaurs 66 years ago. Scientists believe that the asteroid who struck the Earth measures about 10 to 15 kilometers in diameter, and the impact would have released the same energy as 100 million megatons of TNT, which is over 1 billion times the energy of the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, if there's a big old rock coming through our atmosphere, then potentially breaking into smaller, super destructive pieces that scatter all over the Earth, and we will have ourselves another Big Bang. Now, if the impact wouldn't kill all of us, at least, any alien germs or pathogens may just end our lives. At number 4, Nuclear Holocaust. You might have seen a few movies that are set after a nuclear holocaust. Basically, a nuclear holocaust or an atomic holocaust is a very horrific scenario where nuclear weapons have caused widespread destruction and even radioactive fallout that results in the collapsing of our civilization and making some, if not all, of the Earth uninhabitable. Radiation sickness, nuclear winter, and firestorms are just some of the most known devastating consequences of nuclear warfare. So, if in case there is a nuclear holocaust, these are the effects that they should look forward to first. As a result of electromagnetic pulses, temporary loss of modern technology would also occur. Nuclear weapons are very devastating, at least on the notion. All of us could agree. We know how nuclear attacks have affected Hiroshima and how radiation sickness has affected the lives of people after the initial contact at Chernobyl. Ionizing radiation destroys DNA, breaks it up, and weakens it, leaving you to a horrendous Earth. The cells can also become damaged enough to mutate into cancer. Birth defects and abnormalities can also affect future generations. I believe we should just keep the peace here on Earth and try to be kind to one another, because among all the apocalypse listed in here, this is somewhat more likely to happen. Even though not all countries hold nuclear weapons, some countries have more than enough to actually destroy the entire planet. At number 3, pandemic. Yes, if you've seen Contagion, it's something pretty scary to even consider happening. It is actually something that we do not want. Some of the most infamous pandemics include the Spanish flu, which killed 50 million people and infected a total of 500 million people between 1918 to 1920. There was also the devastating HIV pandemic, an unstoppable force that scared the hell out of every being in the world who understands its dangers in the 1980s and still affects us now. Today, we are currently experiencing a scare of coronavirus, which has already claimed millions of lives across the world. Although there are movies who have made mention of the virus spreading in movies, nobody would have thought that the scare in the movies would come alive. Although scientists and other experts in the medical field are working very hard in finding a cure, it still scares every individual as it can kill in a span of days. However, health officers are confident that this is not the pandemic that would end the Earth. At number 2, climate change. Well, I bet everybody in the world knows what climate change is and how it is affecting our lives today. Yes, there are still movies about climate change as a major premise. According to NASA, in the last 650,000 years, there have been 7 cycles of glacial retreat and advance, with the abrupt end of the last ice age 7,000 years ago. Since the last 19th century, the Earth's average surface temperature has risen to about 0.9 degrees Celsius due to increased human-made emissions and increased carbon dioxide. Most of the warming was observed in the last 35 years, and the 5 warmest years to have been recorded occurred since 2010. So, what can global climate do? Other than frequent wildfires, intense and longer tropical storms, and longer periods of drought can be observed. Well, since most of the Earth is composed of water, with the melting of ice caps and the deterioration of forests, the Earth can figuratively become a creek without a paddle. What is scarier? It is slowly happening. So, if you do not want the Earth to end soon, let us all start going green and be more concerned about our environment. At number 1, Cybergeddon. Well, given the technology, the way it is today, it is normal for people to actually think that potential large-scale sabotage of all computerized networks, systems, and activities can lead to the annihilation of all living things and probably the Earth. Cybergeddon comprises hacktivism, cyber-terrorism, and cyber warfare, a cataclysm that would lead to a wide-scale internet disruption or economic collapse. According to Nigel Stanley, Chief Technical Officer of TUV Rhineland, said, and I quote, Ransomware has shown how a single class of attacks can have a huge impact, with many victims that are not targeted becoming collateral digital damage. A bit like getting the flu on a train journey as you decided not to get the vaccine. End quote. He also said that communication networks are particularly vulnerable and social media can be used for catastrophic warning messages. Stanley added, and I quote, "We need to consider physical damage to communication systems and satellites too." There is a publicly discussed comment attributed to MI5 that society is 4 meals away from anarchy. In other words, large-scale disorder if food supply chains are disrupted. End quote. Well, I guess that is just so much for apocalyptic scenarios. So, do you agree on our list? Do you know crazy assumptions about how the Earth might end that is not included in our list? Let us know by leaving your comments below. Alright, that is it for our list today. If you like our video today, please hit like and share this with your friends. Do not also forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get updates of newly uploaded informative videos from our channel. What top 10s would you like to see next? Let us know by leaving your comments below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.